नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, खूप सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांच्या डिमांड नंतर आपण आपली इंडियन पॉलिटीची बॅच इंग्लिशमध्ये सुरू करत आहोत. ही इंग्लिशमधील बॅच मी जवळपास सर्वच्या सर्व लक्ष्मीकांत कव्हर करण्याचा प्रयत्न केलेला आहे. ही इंग्लिश मीडियममधल्या बॅचची तुम्हाला एक नोट्ससुद्धा मिळेल आणि यासोबतच तुम्हाला या बॅचचे सर्वच्या सर्व व्हिडिओज, आपलं जे ज्ञानदीप अकॅडमीचा लाल कलरचा लोगो असणारा ॲप आहे, या लाल कलरचा लोगो असणाऱ्या ॲपवर तुम्हाला सर्वच्या सर्व बॅच मिळेल. मग या बॅचला ॲक्सेस किती असेल, व्हिडिओज केव्हा अपलोड केले जातील, तुम्ही ते व्हिडिओज किती दिवस पाहू शकता, या सर्व बाबतीतली सर्वच्या सर्व सूचना त्या ॲपवरच त्या ठिकाणी सूचना या सदरामध्ये तुम्हाला दिलेली आहे. तर मी तुम्हाला सर्वांना सुचवेल, ज्या विद्यार्थ्यांना इंग्लिश मीडियममधनं इंडियन पॉलिटीची बॅच हवी होती, तुम्ही ही बॅच नक्की जॉईन करा. तुमच्या मित्रांसोबत सुद्धा शेअर करा. यामध्ये मी तुम्हाला प्रत्येक कन्सेप्ट सांगण्याचा प्रयत्न तर केला आहेच, मात्र या कन्सेप्टच्या सोबतच त्या टॉपिकशी निगडीत जो महत्त्वाचा कंटेंट आहे आणि त्या टॉपिकशी निगडीत जे महत्त्वाचा फॅक्च्युअल डेटा आहे, जो तुमच्या परीक्षेसाठी अत्यंत उपयुक्त असतो, हा सर्वच्या सर्व डेटासुद्धा मी त्या ठिकाणी देण्याचा प्रयत्न केलेला आहे. सो तुम्हाला सर्वांना विनंती की बॅच शेअर करा आणि जॉईन करा. थँक्यू. हॅलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम यू ऑल टू ज्ञानदीप अकॅडमी. We are studying one of the interesting topic of Indian polity, which is federal system. We have seen basic introduction of federal system, what is federation, unitary system, confederation, and what we have in India. Why India is a union of states. We have seen all these basic things. Now we will try to understand another next important topic, and the name of that topic is federal system or federal features of Indian constitution. So let's go into it one by one. It's a quite interesting topic. I hope you will love it. Now, this is our target that we want to study. Federal features of Indian Constitution. Now, you must have gone through various features of Indian Constitution. We have studied all those features. Now, in this lecture, we will classify all those features of Indian Constitution into federal feature. Before moving forward, we have seen the meaning of federation, or also we have seen the meaning of federal. So, there is a simple theme. Whenever central government is treated equally with state government, or whenever state governments have given equal power, rights, authorities, autonomies and privileges along with the central government, it is called as a federal system. It is called as a federation. Clear? So this is very crystal clear thing. Whenever word federation comes before you, then what do you mean by federal feature, or why certain features into the Indian Constitution are called as federal feature? Let's go into it. Now see, first thing, those features of the Constitution which makes an attempt to give equal right to states at par with the center. It means those features of this Constitution which makes an attempt to treat center or state is equal to center, those features are called as federal features. So this thing is very clear. Or the features of the Constitution which protects the autonomy, authority and privileges of the states from encroachment by the center are called as federal feature. Clear? It means wherever central government or prime minister and his council of minister makes an attempt to encroach upon the authority of state government, like Maharashtra, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, all these states are there. So in those cases, wherever the state government uses the shield of constitutional features and says that these features protect us from the any kind of encroachment by the center, then those features are clearly called as federal features. So I repeat the definition once again. The features of the Constitution which makes an attempt to give equal rights to the states at par with the center, or which protects the autonomy, powers, authority, privileges and rights of the states from encroachment by the center are called as federal features. In very simple language, those features of the Constitution which protects state government from center are called as federal features. Clear? So from now onwards, we will understand what are those features, why those features are federal, and how those features protects state government. Clear? Our agenda is to understand three important things. What are the federal features? Why these features are called as federal features? And how these features makes an attempt to protect state governments from central government's encroachment. This is the plain focus we are going to study. Now, let's start with one by one. In simple terms, the features of the constitution which protects states from center's encroachment are called as federal feature. We have seen this definition. Clear? So, first feature is dual polity. Now, before moving forward, what is meaning of dual polity? As we have seen, we have three-tier system: central government, state government, local government. This is three-tier system. Now, what is dual polity? It means we have similar political setup in center as well as state. Like in India, we have similar political setup both in center as well as state. How similar political setup? For example, in center, we have Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President, Prime Minister, and Council of Ministers to run the government on a democratic lines. We have complete central political setup. Almost similar political setup has been replicated in state level also. How? Let's see. In states, we have legislative assembly, same like Lok Sabha of the center. Legislative council, same like Rajya Sabha of the center. Chief Minister, parallel to Prime Minister, and Council of Ministers of the states is same like Council of Ministers in the center. So this shows state governments have been given a separate political setup, same like central government, to run this government in a democratic way and for having all legislative, executive, and financial functions carried out in a proper manner. That's why the system is being called as. So this is a dual polity. So in simple term, what is dual polity? We have similar political setup in center as well as state. We have similar political setup in center as well as the state is said in a simple language. Clear? So first, dual polity. It means it is very simple that we have made an attempt to give states equal political setup like center. And when we make an attempt to give equal setup to states at par with the center, it is a federal feature. Clear? First one. Then we have written constitution. What happens when we have written constitution? Written constitution gives you a guarantee. Clear? So written constitution is like a guarantee. It means if Prime Minister and Council of Ministers gets a draconian majority, they get more than 4/5 of majority, then it could happen that they might remove or they might reduce or they might encroach upon all the authorities, powers and privileges of the state government. In this case, state governments have the guarantee that everything is written in the constitution. So whenever this particular Prime Minister and Council of Ministers or central government makes an attempt to encroach upon the authority of the state governments will approach Supreme Court. State government will approach Supreme Judiciary and will say that Supreme Judiciary that these are the powers given to us by the constitution and central government is encroaching upon these powers. When state governments can say when it is given in writing, and we have all these things given in writing in our constitution, which is not the case in United Kingdom, that is in Britain. In Britain, there is no written constitution. And that's why everything and anything which is said by the British Parliament is constitution. And British Parliament do not give any powers, authorities and privileges to the provinces in British. That's why in Britain, there is unitary system. In case of India, this written constitution helps states protection from encroachment by the center. So written constitution is a federal feature. So it is given. Written constitution specifies the structure, organization, powers and functions. So these four words are very, very important. Written constitution specifies what shall be the structure, what shall be organization, powers and functions of both center and state government. So this makes written constitution a federal feature. It avoids the misunderstanding and disagreement between the center and state. Also, it describes the limit within which center and states must operate. Basically and specifically, center must operate so that it should not violate upon the functioning of the state government. That's why written constitution is one of the most important federal feature of Indian constitution. Clear? Third, division of power. Division of legislative power. Since it is a federal system and legislative powers have been given to states in India. In America, legislative powers have been given to various states. But in Britain, where the system is unitary, provinces do not have legislative power. Provinces do not have law-making power. Remember, my dear friends, provinces in England do not have law-making power, whereas states in India as well as America have law-making powers. This is very interesting. This you have to keep in mind. So, division of power or law-making power is given in 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution, as we have discussed in schedules of the Indian Constitution. It is given in 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. It has 3 important lists. One is Union List. Now, what is Union List? It is a list of various subjects on which Parliament has the right to make laws. So, the subject where Parliament can make law has a separate list where Parliament can make the law. Then there is state list. What is state list? It is a list of various subjects where state legislature has the right to make laws. Like police is there, law and order is there, land is there, cooperatives is there, water is there. So all these are the subject where specifically state legislature. What is state legislature? It is state legislative assembly and state legislative council. They have the specific rights to make laws. It means state legislature has been given specific law making powers through this particular constitution. So it is a state list. State legislature makes the law. Then there is a third list. Third list, which is called as a concurrent list. Now, what is the significance of concurrent list? Concurrent list has the subjects on which both union government as well as state legislature has the right to make laws. It means it is the list of subjects where both Parliament as well as state legislature has the right to make laws. It is called as a concurrent list. Clear? So 7th schedule has specifically mentioned, has specifically divided the legislative powers or the law making powers between the central government and state government. And these powers have been divided into 3 important lists. One is union list, where Parliament has the right to make laws. Second is state list, where state legislature has the right to make laws. And third is concurrent list, where both center as well as state, that is Parliament as well as state legislature, has the right to make laws. It means in case of India, a proper list of subjects have been given where states can make laws. So it makes it very, very clear that 7th schedule or division of power is a federal feature which gives law making power to the states. Clear? Then comes supremacy of the constitution. Now, what is significance of having a supreme constitution? When constitution is supreme and constitution is federal, it means all the federal features of the Indian constitution cannot be amended by union government. Let's imagine a hypothetical situation. In this hypothetical situation, various powers, legislative power, executive power, financial power, and all other powers have been given to the state government. By whom? The powers have been given by the constitution to state government, and state government is working on those powers. It is enjoying those powers, rights, privileges, autonomy and authority. Now, a second situation where a particular political party gets a huge majority, and also that particular political party has particular agenda. Now, is it possible that a political party with huge margin of majority in Lok Sabha can amend the powers given by constitution to these states? No. Why? Because our constitution is federal. So, all important federal features of the constitution which have been given by constitution to various states cannot be amended by a particular political party which has large majority into the Lok Sabha. Why? Because we have supremacy of the constitution, and the essence of the constitution should not be violated. The essence of supreme constitution should not be violated, or in technical language, the basic structure of the Indian constitution should not be violated. And this is the reason why the supreme constitution, which is federal in nature, act as a protector for rights, powers, authorities, privileges and autonomy of the state government. And this is the reason why supreme constitution is a federal feature of the Indian constitution. The constitution is supreme law of the land. Legislative, executive and judicial organ of the government at central as well as state level must operate within the jurisdiction given by the constitution, which is supreme as well as which is federal in nature. And this federality in nature must not be violated by anyone either in center or in state. Then fifth important feature is rigid constitution. Rigid constitution is one of the very important federal feature of Indian constitution. Or rigid constitution, it protects the rights of the states. How? Now, to understand how rigid constitution is a federal feature, first we have to understand Article 368. Now, what is Article 368? Remember, my dear friends, Article 368 is related with Constitutional Amendment Act. Constitutional amendment, it means making changes into the constitution. So you can make changes into the constitution under Article 368 of the Indian constitution. Making changes means adding certain parts into the constitution, deleting certain parts from the constitution, making changes into the constitution, and making various kinds of changes, making amendment into the constitution is a part of constitutional amendment. So this constitutional amendment can be made under Article 368. Now we will try to understand what is this. As per Article 368, Constitution can be amended in three ways. One is by simple majority of the parliament, as we have seen what is meaning of simple majority. Second is special majority of parliament. And third way, by special majority of the parliament plus at least half of the states saying yes by simple majority. Now see, my dear friends, certain provisions of the constitution can be changed with simple majority. Certain procedures can be changed with simple majority. This makes Indian constitution very flexible. Here you do not require the permission of the state legislatures, but there are certain provisions which cannot be changed with simple majority, and you need special majority of the parliament, and that too, this special majority must be taken separately. Special majority of both the houses is needed, right? Both the houses, special majority is needed, and it is very difficult to get special majority of both the houses. And certain provisions, again, certain provisions of the constitution can be amended with first special majority of the parliament, and once you get special majority of the parliament, then these thing must be approved by at least half of the states by simple majority in their legislature. So this third is very difficult thing, very difficult. Here simple thing, this first method is very easy way of amendment, second method is difficult way of amendment, and third is very difficult method of amendment. It means these two methods of changing or making changes into the Indian constitution are very difficult, and it makes that you cannot change the provisions without permission of the states. It means ultimately you are giving say, you are listening voices of these states, so it is a federal feature. That's why having rigid constitution, it means having very difficult processes to amend the constitution, is a kind of federal feature. Having very difficult methods, difficult ways and difficult processes to amend the constitution, so that these difficult ways will protect the rights, authorities, privileges, autonomy of the states, is a kind of federal feature of Indian constitution. In both the above cases, that is case number 2 and 3, it is very difficult to get assent of parliament and state legislature. Assent, A-S-S-E-N-T. Assent means to get acceptance of the parliament as well as state legislature is very difficult. It means it will help in protecting the autonomy of the states. This difficulty in amending the constitutional provisions, it will protect rights, duties, privileges, autonomy, authority of the state government from central government, and that's why it is rigid constitution is a federal feature. It means in simple term, rigid constitution is in favor of state governments. Rigid constitution is in favor of state government, or it is in favor of federality of Indian constitution. Then we have independent judiciary. Why we have independent judiciary? Because whenever state governments will approach Supreme Court will act in a very independent manner based on supremacy of the constitution, and it cannot be cowed down by any kind of fear or favor by the central government. It means this independent judiciary will help in protecting the autonomy or federality of the Indian constitution. So this is very, very important feature, federal feature of Indian constitution. Independent judiciary is headed by Supreme Court. First thing, it protects the supremacy of the constitution through judicial review. It settles the dispute between center and the state and in between various states. And this helps protecting the functioning of various state governments. Bicameralism. Bicameralism, it means Indian Parliament, it is composed of two houses. Indian Parliament is composed of two houses. So what are those two houses? Like if this is Parliament, this Parliament is composed of two important houses. One is Lok Sabha, second is Rajya Sabha. Now, why then this is a federal feature? Here remember, this Rajya Sabha is a upper house. Rajya Sabha is a upper house. It is called as Council of States. Rajya Sabha. It represents various state governments. So remember, my dear friends, whenever the word definition, what is definition of Rajya Sabha? Rajya Sabha is representative of state governments. It is the very simplest definition of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, Council of States, is called as upper house, and the most important definition of Rajya Sabha is it protects state government, or it represents state government, is the simplest definition of Rajya Sabha. It means in our central legislature, various states have been represented through Rajya Sabha, and whenever a bill comes into the Rajya Sabha, the voices, the needs of the Rajya states will be represented into the Rajya Sabha. Then that's why Rajya Sabha is a federal feature, or bicameralism is a federal feature. There is lower house, which is called as House of the People. Lok Sabha, it is representative of the people. That's why, remember here, Council of States or Rajya Sabha is the most important federal feature, which is part of central legislature, which voices the concerns of various state governments. That's why bicameralism is also a federal feature of the Indian Constitution. So I will just list out various important federal features. First, it is bicameralism. It means we have two houses, Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, and the definition of Rajya Sabha is representative of state governments. Second important feature is independent judiciary, which protects the rights, autonomy, authority of the state governments. Then third one is rigid constitution. Certain provisions of the constitution cannot be amended easily. They need approval of at least Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha with special majority, and at least Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are saying yes by, at least half of the states saying yes by simple majority. Then comes, which is a supremacy of the constitution. Then there is division of power, which is given in 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Then there is written constitution, and we have similar political setup, which is dual polity. So all these features are in simple term are called as federal features of the Indian Constitution. Clear? So this is federal features of the Indian Constitution. We will come up with the next part, and this is very interesting, which is unitary features of the Indian Constitution. Till then, keep watching these videos and keep sharing with your friends. We'll meet very soon. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.